Alright guys, welcome to this very first podcast. Welcome to the podcast. It's where I'm trying to connect with more people around the world, try to see what their perspective is, and what's happening in terms of gratification, the society around them, and the future. So I'm going to be talking to Vasko. He's from Austria. Let's get stuck in. This is Vasko. Hello.
Hey, Dave.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing, mate?
Very well, very well. How are you?
Thank you very much. Very good.
Excellent, man. Can I call you Vasco? I know you have that's not your original name.
Sure. It's a pretty difficult name. Sure. Go on.
Yeah. You're from you live in Austria, but judging from your last name, you seem to be Serbian background. Is that right?
Um, well, I'm born in Austria, but my parents are from Yugoslavia. My mom is Croatian, and my father is from Montenegro. So they grew up in Serbia, but I mean, it's basically a Yugoslavian name. So yes, you guessed right.
Yeah, that's right. There's quite a few. I was born and raised in Australia, and there was quite a few Yugoslavians that had the Vich at the end. You could tell because at the last name had the Vich.
I mean, where are you from, man?
I am born and raised in Australia, but my parents are Syrian, and now I live in Ukraine. So I'm like Mr. Worldwide everywhere. Yeah, man.
Very cool.
This is exciting. You're actually my first guest on this podcast. I've been meaning to do this for a while because.
Man, that's a great idea. I think that's a really, really great idea, and I'm really, really honored, and I appreciate that I'm your first guest. I really appreciate that, man.
That's excellent. I appreciate that you appreciate it. And I was gonna say, I'm just so curious at this point because I see the world around me, and I have a different perspective than what the mainstream media and what is mainstream out there. And I just think like, am I going crazy? Is it me, or do other people see what I'm seeing? And so I've started with the nofap community because I think these are guys out there who are trying to grow and help themselves, and that's how I found you, and that's what I wanted to start off by talking about.
Sure.
So I got into nofap in around 2016. Tell me yourself how you got into it, when you found out about nofap, and how you got into it.
Okay, it's a pretty cool story. So I found about it in my summer 2017 in June.
Yeah.
And I was around 20 years old.
Oh,
but
man.
to be honest, I wasn't that much I didn't have the will, to be determined, and I just read some things and I watched some videos, and I found it pretty cool because, to be honest, I felt every time disgusted when I did it. So I was like, okay, I don't think it's the right way. So, and then with time and experience, and I said to myself, okay, that's not how it's gonna work for myself. That's not how it's gonna work for the rest of my life. I have to quit something and I have to change. So with 2018, I had no job, I had nothing, and I said, okay, I have to change something. And then I found a job in Switzerland. I was very happy about it. And then I knew, okay, now it's the time to quit the bad habits. And I think from 2018 October, that was officially the last time that that was the beginning, and it was like the new me. So it was like unprogramming from the matrix, so to speak.
Oh, nice. How long were you doing it for? How how long did you start getting into porn and
Oh my
fapping?
God. Well, I will not back off, so I will tell you the truth, nothing but the truth. I started when I was 13, and again it was a bad friend circle. And well, I just got my PC and I got my computer, and the next thing when my parents got away, I just did the things what young men unfortunately do. So I think it was quite a bad habit. I think if I would wish one thing I could stop, it would be this. It just would be this, and I think it would change me from my early age to a much better person.
Yeah.
So I think I started about approximately 13 years old, and it just got worse and worse, and with the friends, and then you're like, okay, he's doing too, so you feel like confident, and then you talk openly about it, but it's kind of, I think I feel ashamed, I felt ashamed because, you're doing a bad thing, but
absolutely.
Deeply inside you want to quit it, but you can't because you're so addicted and so on, and then, I think it's a pretty difficult topic because, it's hard to speak because
it's embarrassing, man. It is. It's embarrassing. I get embarrassed, man. I get it's just embarrassing to.
I felt embarrassed. Low self-esteem, no self-esteem, no self-confidence whatsoever, and I felt like God, why I'm so bad and everything, and that's where the dark times started. And I think truly that just when you look and you stop just by 1 week, I think you will feel the benefits. I mean, it will automatically challenge you, but you will feel the benefits. For sure.
Oh yeah. I remember, when I got into it, like the nofap superpowers, how everybody talks about those nofap superpowers. Man, when I got into it, I felt them really hard for like a week. Like, I stopped and, man, I would walk down the street. Women would just turn their heads towards me. I felt like a new type of like a heightened level of testosterone and energy, and I would just talk to a girl, and I feel like she was melting, like she could smell some sort of like instinct, and it was real. It was all real, and I was like, I just entered a new reality where like every girl suddenly smelled like something on me and loved me. And before I never saw that, so it really shocked me. What about you?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I mean, it's the God's truth. It's such. I don't know how can I explain it, but I think it's when you do this stuff, like when you are nofap, bro. I think then you will see, okay, something you will see like that. Let's call it magic, women start talking to you and so on. Bro, I can tell you one thing. Just by 1-2 weeks, I mean, oh my God, the cleaning woman in the company where I started to work, like back in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she started like to flirt with me, and she was a pretty good-looking woman. I think very curvy and anything and blah so on. I was like, God, Jesus Christ, why did she challenge me so hard? And then it started like she feels, even if she's like older, like 40, I know she feels that, and I think that's kind of thing that women feel. That's the thing that men also can feel, like when they're like sexually aroused, they're like, oh my God, she's so gorgeous and anything, and then he can't think clear. And I think that's with women too. But I think, mom, it was challenging. I mean, it was challenging.
Yeah. I remember those days. Yeah, absolutely.
I think you will for the guys who start this. I can give you one advice. man, they will challenge you. And when I tell challenge you, they will absolutely hardcore challenge you. I mean, they will give you looks, they will start to flirt, they will give you, of course, shit tests and so on. And I mean, listen, brothers and sisters, no brothers and sisters, just brothers. I mean, you guys will feel this. You guys will experience a thing. Just start. If you have this bad habit, don't worry. Just start with it.
Yeah. What are you saying? Who will challenge? The girls will challenge, or other guys will challenge?
The girls will challenge you. The girls will challenge you. They will play with your mind.
Yeah.
You have to be strong. You will. I think it's a part of the game that you will fail, but you will adapt and you will get stronger.
You know what? I used to be into that sort of pickup stuff, like the girls, like trying to pick up girls and how they would give shit tests and you had to try and remain cool and calm. But you know, what I realized as I got older, it's not like there's a misconception in the pickup community that the girls are giving shit tests. It's more like these girls, they have a deep insecurity. Like if you tell a girl, you're so pretty, I love you, be my girlfriend, they tell you to fuck off. It's not because they don't want to hear that. It's because they're so unsure, like they can't accept love, and they're so unsure, like they get anxiety when they're given love, that they have to, self-sabotage or ruin it to prove that they're not worthy of love, It's like these women have a level of anxiety and insecurity, and so they push that away. And also, like if a girl doesn't feel worthy of love, like if she doesn't get like love from God and feel worthy from love from God, she can never really accept love from a man. And that's why a lot of these women, they end up going for like criminals or drug dealers or bad boys, because they just have to manifest that reality that they're just not worthy of a good man, and they only can get just the worst human beings in society.
I think yes. I think to be honest, when it comes like to attraction, I think many guys will bend steel just to get the girl. Like they will start manipulating them. They will start every kind of PUA technique and so on. And I'm very very simple guy. I think if she's attracted to you, she will not say no to a coffee or I don't know for a little walk for outside or anything. But I think you got the point very good, because they feel so insecure and unworthy. So they start like, okay, they go for this drama. They want drama. They like bad boys. They like to be unfortunately abused mentally. I don't think physically, but mentally,
Yeah.
And
it's not that I don't think they like it. I don't think they like it. It's just like it just makes them more comfortable than being loved. Like hate is more comfortable to them than love. And it's almost like a parameter God puts. Like you can only find love if you love God first, and then you can accept love from like a godly, nice man. But that's the problem with the society. Like everybody's saying, like, don't be a simp, don't be a good man, don't be a protective, loving man. You're a simp. But it's like you can be a simp if you find like a godly woman who can accept love and who can be normal with God. Because I feel like God, He comes in and He fixes people's psychology, like psychological problems. I used to feel like I had psychological problems my whole life, and I read psychology and I read self-help books. Never helped me. Not once. None of it helped me. I just continued being a mental. But as soon as I went to God, all my problems was like fixed overnight. So it's almost like we have these mental problems, but it's like only God, I feel like, can fix them. And once you go there, then your life gets sorted. What do you think? What's your perspective?
I think it's true, but what I have to say, that many women can't accept God because they never been taught that way. So I think many women will they will kind of ignore it. They will say, okay, I think it's a great thing, but deeply inside they will not acknowledge it. They will not accept it.
Yeah.
And I think many women will have a rough times. Like I tell you, I have unfortunately one female family member, she cannot find love because of her past, because of her things that she done. And I think it goes with her bad past that she had. And I think when you for example, we have one thing that we always say. We say you can't change you can't change women who prostituted themselves, okay, and who had a lot of sexual experience with many men.
Yeah.
You can't have her as your wife. She can't have healthy children because she had several guys in her bed. And I think spiritually, women are more like emotionally. She's connected to these guys, and she's a lost soul because of that. And I think I also talked with a young woman about that. And she was like, after my first breakup with my ex-boyfriend, I felt so cold, I felt so empty, and so on and so on. And I was like, whoa, that's what my mom teach me, because my mom is a very religious woman, and she was very strictly raised. I mean, not strictly like beaten, but there was just simple rules that you have to accept, and it was just like this. And I think many women nowadays think it's kind of cool when you have several partners and you think you have a good man, good caring man who is a good provider. But I think they will do a lot of mistakes because they think, okay, I can do this with this bad guy, with this bad boy, and it messes them completely up because they start to question their husband or their man, that they have children. Unfortunately, there are a lot of cases, because I don't say every woman is a cheater, but you have unfortunately both sides where man cheats or the woman cheats. But I think especially with women, it's they have this spiritual connection with this guy, and I think unfortunately today it's also pushed through social media, through music, through many things. And what should I say?
Man,
I think
I have to say, I mean, you're right. In some cases, you are right. Where you are right that the women do get affected more deeply, like the more partners they have. But I have to disagree. Like, I have to say, like, I think they can get healed. Like, God can heal everyone. Like, and it comes down to the will to love. Like, if in your heart, if you want love, if you just desperately want love, you will go to God and He will heal you, because it's the only way. Like when I was younger, I got burnt by women. I had a girlfriend that I loved. She went back to her ex-boyfriend. That was very painful and sad for me. I got rejected from women a lot, and I ended up developing the red pill rage. That's what they call it online, where you find out about the true nature of women and you hate them, and you're like, I hate women. Like, they all bitches. They all want a bad boy, blah, blah, blah. Right? But, deep in my heart, I just wanted love. Like, I just wanted, like, one good wife that loved me. And so, when you realize that the world's so chaotic, God gives you an option. Like, you can either drop your pride. You either drop your pride and submit to the will to God and ask Him to fix everything and heal you and help you find love, which He does. Or you can keep your pride and just be so prideful and just be like, the world deserves to give me love. Because really it's the pride. It's the ego that stops them from asking God for help and for admitting that they're a failure and that they're wrong and that no one's a victim. They're not a victim. It's their fault, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is what happens. The women, a lot of women, they go through these painful experiences and they develop anger towards the opposite gender. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing a lot of lesbian, LGBT women with tattoos, blue hair. They're so angry at men, they can't drop their own pride and submit to God and ask Him for love.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Can I say, I had one conversation with, I mean, it was not a conversation, it was a disagreement with a transgender woman. And I told him or her, I don't know how to call it. I told him, I told him, listen, your name is Valencia, but for me, you're a man, okay? So I told him, we was getting each off, I told him, listen, man, you're born as a man. So if you cannot accept yourself as a man and respect yourself as a man, you have no self-respect as a man. You don't accept yourself as a man. How should I respect and accept you as a woman? And we don't want to go, I don't want to go too much deep inside, into this, but I think it goes also, like you said, it's kind of confusing. I mean, of course, okay, I mean, nowadays you have to accept lesbian and so on, but I think, how do you want to procreate? I mean, it's impossible, okay? So, like you said, if you hate the opposite gender, that's not the way.
Yeah.
That's just not the way, and I think you have the good part. I think everybody deserves love. Everybody is searching for love. But I think in my case, some people, I think it's gonna be pretty hard for them, and I don't think. Yes, of course, God. If it's God will, they will be healed. But I think some woman will be always lonely. And that's just my thinking. So maybe I'm wrong.
Well, they will be if they stay prideful, if they don't let go of their pride and submit to God and ask for help. Of course, they will be. And with these transgender, homosexuals, transgender, if you look into the psychology of a lot of them, you'll actually find out that what's happened is they've accumulated pain from the opposite gender, maybe within their childhood or adolescent stages. And as a way to protect themselves from the pain, they've transformed themselves into that gender so that they never feel that pain again in order to protect themselves. So, you find a lot of lesbians, they've had, they could have been molested by an uncle or someone from the opposite gender, and they're so angry and holding on to that pain and trauma that they become lesbian and hating men in order to protect themselves. So it's often a deep psychological trauma, and it's sad because no one deserves to go through that, and but God gives you that pain in order to you can either choose to find peace in God, and from that pain He gives you the pain to run to Him to find peace within Him, or you can go run around in the world and try and find peace in forms of gratification, and oftentimes that's what people do. They try and find peace in sex, in attention. A lot of women, they have ego gratification, so they wear minimal clothing so they can get an ego gratification from many men staring on them, and that's what we're seeing online with a lot of these Instagram thoughts, and it's gotten out of control.
And especially with the OnlyFans site, so they can gain some money from that.
Yeah,
which is another ego boost for them. So they can say, "Oh, I'm proud of me. I know I can make money of myself. why should I stop? And there, I think there is the black hole where it starts. That's the endless. That's what I call. I think that's where the real heavy problem starts with them for their future, because they will not. They cannot hide it. I mean, for example, when you look at ex-porn stars, for example, if they get mothers and their sons unfortunately reach puberty and unfortunately reach to their size, they will see their mother and I think that's what I think where a lot of psychological stress and pressure starts on many women. They were like, I just did it for money and I was in a bad situation and so on and so on. And I think I agree. Okay, I agree. Nobody deserves to be molested or raped by an uncle, or like you said. I think that's a very bad thing in the world. But I think you should not as a woman especially, you should not be that kind of open to that many guys, because you at the end it will always be a lot of pressure on you, and you will be always judged, and you will have a hard time. For example, when you want a husband and you want children, and I don't know, because unfortunately there is the internet, the web, and for example, you post one picture and it will be always forever inside the deep internet. So I think like you said, if they want true love, they will find it by God. But I think because of the bad humanity and how the civilization works, they will always be challenged.
Yeah.
They will be challenged. I think they will always be confronted with the bad past, which I don't think we should judge them. I don't think I should judge ex-porn star or porn star. I'm done with this. But I think they should, especially young women who think about this, they should also think about their future. Okay, what can happen if this I step out of the industry, and so on and so on. And they should be aware of this, and I think it's up to them. But I think they have to have a thick skin.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you, and I hope so. I mean, I envision a world where everybody has high moral character. They have a level of purity and a level of innocence and kindness towards one another. And I feel bad for them, because as much as we can say they need to do this, I don't think they can. I think they're mostly unconscious to their desires and Satan, and they just unconscious asleep robots who they just go from one gratification to the next, and they don't have a level of self-awareness on themselves.
Yes.
But I think there is a level of self-awareness that will grow in the future. Thankfully we do have the internet, so the people that do reflect on themselves, they have a wealth of information to grow, and it's just the right information needs to reach them.
Yeah.
And hopefully, starting with this show, maybe it'll reach someone, change someone. I hope.
I hope too, because I think no guy should watch these sites with his in his 20s or even in his teenage age. I think no guy should also end up being 30, living with his parents, and he's in his own room and doing this thing all day long in front of his computer. I don't think that's the way, because in my country there is one saying. They say if your grandfather didn't do it, if he wouldn't be proud of this, don't think about it. Just
That's a good one, man. That's good. Yeah,
and
really.
I think, of course, with nowadays, the technology and so on, you cannot use always this answer or this kind of sentence. But I think it will filter a lot of trouble out.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, because I think as a man, as a good man, you should you should make sure that you are in a good position in life, because I don't think that that you will feel off of your woman, because I think you have the role as a man, as a father in the future. You should have also good leadership skills and, just to be a good role model also for the younger generation. And I think it should not be, I don't think it's nothing to be proud of, to getting laid, to getting a lot of women. I don't think that it's so kind of, wonderful, because I think it's more satisfying when I see young men who reach, or women who reach their goals. Like they say, thank you very much, Zaid. You teach me a lot. You gave me a lot of self-awareness. I found my passion. I found a great job. I found a great person. And I think that's like, you're a big help for a lot of people. And I think that's the right way. That's just, my opinion. And I think that's just what we made for, me humans.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree. And that desire, it's embedded in everyone's heart to Friedrich Nietzsche talks about the will to power. And I believe that everybody has that. Everybody has that will to manifest greatness and become, not just be a human being, but be a human becoming into what your ultimate destiny is, and creating a purpose that will help others, and creating a family with a loving wife and loving kids. That everybody has that in their heart. And there's the people that will deny it, and they will destroy themselves, and they'll destroy their bodies with tattoos and narcotics. And there will be the disbelievers, and God will throw them into hell. But then inversely, you have the people who do listen to their heart and submit to God, ask for his help, and become true believers and manifest that purpose and love in their life. So hopefully we can get that message out there and create more believers in this world.
Sure.
And Vasko, I wanted my shows just to be 30 minutes long, but it's 30 minutes, but I didn't get through all the questions I want to ask you. So, I enjoyed having you on, and I hope to have you on some more if you would like.
I would love to have some more conversations with you on some future podcasts. Yeah. And I really, really thank you for the first podcast. I really appreciate that, Zaid.
No, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was great. I'm so happy. All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you later, and we'll schedule a time. It was a Vasko from Austria.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Ciao. Take care. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.
Alright guys, that was the first podcast, and I think we brought up some interesting topics. That was Vasko. He is Serbian, Yugoslavian origin, a young man, 23, living in Austria, and quite a good-looking guy too, very built. You go on his Instagram, he works out a lot. And it just goes to show, you can be a great-looking guy working out, and you can be struggling in this world. And it's not the superficial stuff that attracts you to a woman or makes you find a good woman. It's just that, the men are living in such adverse times with really unconscious and lost women. And so, I pray for the believing man, and I pray for the good women out there that who are lost, that find God, and that we can create a community of believers and a community of people that aren't slaves to gratification and their desires, inshallah. So thanks guys, and I'll see you on the next podcast.